Hello and welcome back to Bricking It, and today we're going to be making this big old unit at home in a Forbidden Forest background. And when I say at home, I really do mean at home. We're going to be building his lair, and as he is such a huge model, he will definitely fit, or definitely not rather, fit in the 6 studs of space that I have available in my Forbidden Forest. So we are going to need to do some archivantular surgery. So first of all, the bits that we're going to need of Aragog are his eye unit, his mandibles, these 2 legs, and these 2 legs, and all of the rest is not going to be used in the rest of this MOC. Now, that does not mean these pieces are going to go to waste, because I have another MOC idea that's going to be perfect to use up a good chunk of these pieces. But for now, let's get back to Aragog's lair. So we're going to start off with a little 2x10. We're just going to build up the mound of Aragog's lair. Now, if you remember in the movies, or the movie rather, Aragog is never sort of like out in the open. He's an old man. He likes his comforts, and he largely stays hidden away in his lair. So what we're building up here is that kind of mound-like entrance that you see him just creeping over the top of in the scariest way possible to tell his stories to Harry and Ron. Just building this up using the various size slope elements. Put that on there. Now, to cap it off, well, first of all, let's just put that on there for a bit more support. We do want a bit more support on the back as well, just to support the size of the elements that we're using. And we're going to start off this 2x6 across here. That's going to allow us to smooth out the front of our lair. One more piece. Lovely. So this is going to be the entrance to Aragog's lair, the mound that we see him peeking over the top of. That will probably give you a good idea of how we're going to set him up in our MOC. So first of all, let's start putting Aragog back together. So we've got our mandibles here. Now, in the original build, you can see these are attached to an axle that runs through 2 bricks and holds the head secure there, allowing you to have a little bit of a wobble of the mandibles. But we haven't got that kind of depth, so we're going to need to adjust what we're doing. We're going to go with a Technic pin with an axle end. I'm just going to pop that on there. Now, that does mean, because it's pinned at one end, that his jaws are floppy as anything, but because of the other pieces we're going to be using, they're going to be stabilized to a greater extent. First off, I'm just going to add a bit of height to this back row. We switch from mound colours to spider colours now, just as we start building up Aragog. So as you can see, these jaws are super floppy. Next elements we're going to want are going to be his legs. So we're going to start off, put one in there, one next to it. We're just going to add a stud underneath, just to raise that up a little bit. Okay. And one more low down. And its outside partner again, raised up by a stud. Now, because of the way these go into the forest, as you can see, they don't always want to stay on. Just because we've got two round bricks next to each other, when they're placed at a slight angle, they always want to create friction and just ping off. And because we're putting most of the pressure, showing you all this way off camera, because we're putting most of the pressure on the far ends of these connections, they're really easy to ping off. So what we're going to do is stabilize those connections just with this piece here, so that we are pushing down right across the entire section with much better grip strength and pressure across the back of the piece there. So with those legs in, now our jaws are slightly more stabilized because he's resting on his own shoulders, I suppose. We've got a bit of movement in these legs for posing. We can have him grabbing onto the rocks nicely or gesticulating. But we need to complete our build now with the eye unit on the back, and that really does hold those mandibles still in position. And there we go. So that's Aragog climbing over the mound of his lair. Nice and simple. Let's insert that into the scene. Now, I've prepared the Forbidden Forest to receive Aragog. We have webs and spiders all over the place, pretty much on every single limb of the piece. And all that awaits now is terrified looking Wrong, an equally worried Harry, and of course Aragog himself. Now I'm going to be adjusting my plate layer because I want to make sure I've got a few more jumpers in rather than plain plate, just to ensure that this is much easier to get in and out. Make sure I'm in the right area. There we go. We can squeeze that down. We can pose our legs. Let's have a look at our scene. So it's slightly unfortunate that Aragog does blend into the background somewhat, being as he is brown and the trees are brown. But I think there's enough difference in colour there with the mound and the mandibles and the whites of his eyes. Just you can make out what's going on in there. Let's see if we can pull back far enough to give you a view of the entire module. There we go. So that is our Chamber of Secrets display for our Forbidden Forest hidden module, Aragog's Lair. There you go. If you'd enjoyed this video, please leave us a like. And if you'd like to see more Hogwarts and Grounds MOC videos, then please subscribe to Bricking It. Bye bye.